a couple restarts, ready to go. I feel weird about talking right now. I don't get it. Because my roommate's out and about. Anyway, there's a bunch of stuff I didn't cover yesterday that I had planned to, and then some other stuff that I remembered watching SGDQ, just seeing other games. Techniques that they used for, you know, using a mesh to give you shape and motion for your visual effect. I guess that's what I mean by mesh-based. And also that it's like not particle-based necessarily. You know, meshes, you know, particles aren't meshes technically. Let me know what's up if you're showing up. This music seems so loud. What? It's just controlled for me. That brings it down a little. It seems so quiet for me. Let me know if the music's too loud, basically. I don't want it. I basically just want a little bit of background. Oh. See if anybody's showing up. Dude, they're running Pokemon. I mean, if you like Pokemon, that's cool, but come on, man. I'm enjoying the fun. Anyone helping us out? We got one retweet. We got two, maybe. I'm sure I got somebody maybe doing that too. Not this is bad, I just want some good stuff. I'll just run this again like I always do. Dang. Okay, so sorry about the slow start. And this one might not even take that long. I got a couple notes. Just wanted to show some samples. I guess I feel like some sort of obligation for this to be like take longer. It doesn't need to. The other one went 3 hours, which is nuts. Please ask questions if anyone shows up. So. Nobody yet. Dude, seriously, they're running Pokemon. It's so boring. Usually people go ham. I guess Sundays usually when I get the best pull, but alright. Drawing it up here, show you two examples. Well, one at least, and I'll show you another one that I have in my game already. So, the big ones that I had meant to show for now is something like this. Look familiar? Yeah, Zelda situation. Let me hop over here. Whoop, 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 whoop. Let me show it off again real quick. Woo! Looking good. It's a real simple animation. Because that's the idea behind these. Like, you use the mesh to do as much work as possible. Sometimes it's so you can, like, what am I trying to say here? Like, the mesh can be, you know, altered in some way or transformed in some way that lets you create motions. But in this case, at least this specific example, it's, you know, the mesh is just static. I guess that's the idea. So let's take a glance at what we get done. So basically, it's pretty simple. It's a simple animation. Using the meshes, sorry, this thing's kind of a complex object. Colliders. The projectors for the shadow. But we have a real simple mesh here, and a real simple one here. Comes up. Let's open it up, take a look. Actually grab that other one. Come on back. So basically what I did, it's real simple. And you don't even need to do it like this, simply, but it's just to show you examples about what you can do. You know, some people will be like, oh yeah, it seems obvious. Other people, it's like, oh, I have
Fala galera, eu me
an
chamo
idea
Cheque,
how that
sou
can.
dono do canal Cheque é Cheque. Eu gostaria de agradecer por vocês terem assistido esse vídeo.
You know, it might illuminate something for something that you want to do with stuff. You have the chat again, this doesn't seem to be showing. I don't even know. Alright, we got a couple people. Say hi in the chat again if you already did. It wasn't updating, I don't think. And maybe you didn't say anything. But, here's the mesh here. And also let me know if you want to see that. There's so loud. I think there's that one video. Oh my god, please stop. Me, I'm talking to me, please stop. Not being a goose. Just that one video was particularly quiet. Howdy! What up, my man? Learn about meshes? Good play yesterday. You're good at Jamestown. I'm not good at that game. Sweet, dude. It's work too. Or that's good too. I'm so tired, I don't get it. And I'm not like tired, I'm like drowsy. I got good sleep, but... Alright, I want to open up the chest itself too. Because all I did was take this. You know, I just basically duplicated it. Just took that exact shape. And stretched it out up here. You know, made a shape like this. This is what it is. This is the mesh. And then I unwrapped it just real similarly. You know, we just go around real similar to the other one we did. So it's unfolded. You know, we have like one seam right here. Which I think it's on this side. Right there, the seam. That's what the red line is if you're not familiar. We just unwrapped it, you know, straight across here. Like that. And then you just drop. Let me get this going. Background on there. Excuse me? There we go. You know, just a shape like this. This is actually some sort of effect elsewhere I was using it for. But it looked really good. And basically, all I do is, you know, animate like the opacity, kinda. I don't do too much. But I also do a little bit of like, let's see. I'm going to a bunch just so we can see the animation a few times. Animate on the X-axis a little bit too. What that means is kind of like, you know, pans sideways, kind of like the beams of light don't just go straight up. You know, they kind of like spin around. Spin isn't the right word, but I think you know what I'm saying here. And I guess we're looking at the top one first. But I basically do the same. Oh, these are kind of close together, but you kind of see what I'm talking about? How they're like going around. And I do, it looks like I shrink it down a little bit. You know, I pop it up and then bring it back down. But it's all along the mesh. I don't scale the mesh at all. So, now let's take a look at the other mesh because also does something interesting in that. Check real quick. Neat trick, very cool. Thanks. Please let me know if you have any questions. That's the idea behind this. Just give you ideas. You don't always have to use like a specific technique. Just to show you, give you some foundational stuff, hopefully. Or you can just use explicit technique. You want to use this in your treasure box? Go for it. So same idea here. I cut out that exact shape and sort of, you know, just made it a perfect rectangle. What do we got? Some sort of ad going. Hey, it's that girl. My mom and sister are like in love with that girl. I think she's like the most gorgeous girl on the planet. I think it's because they look like her. Let's see, this looks pretty good. So we have our chest here. On that first one, you know, I followed the inside exactly. You know, I have these like indents and stuff. On this one, it didn't matter too much because you weren't going to see like the inside part. But what's unique about this is that it, and you didn't necessarily have to make this perfectly square. You could have like, you know, blown it out, you know, make it more of a round shape or something. I just like how it looked to me, a little bit square. And what's neat about it though is that we transform the shape a lot, like the texture. So you can see how pointy these are, but it looks really good. Let me need to pause it a certain way. I can't use my normal pause because I haven't. Because you know, like when you pause a game, this, like certain things still update, like I can pan the camera and stuff. But jump up. Oh, I could have gone down here. I'm gonna have to use this pause here. So, whoop. Crack it open. you can see we get this sort of like spread effect. It looks really cool. That's our mesh right there. This is the texture. Going to run along it. But we get this look like this. Check it in the game again because I have the glow effect going. It looks pretty dope. I use that a lot also. I don't have the effect anymore. Well, I might. Hold on. It might take me a minute to find. Never mind. But like, you know, like slam your sword on the ground and you have like this like radial effect. But that's why else mesh is going to be really cool. You can turn, you know, a straight thing that's easy to paint and then give it, you know, you transform the texture. And that might seem obvious, that's what you're always doing generally, at least with these effects. But that's just another way you can do it. Getting a look like that. Sweet. Hey, somebody has more followers than me. Thank you. Go back up here, check it out again. Just see if there's any other thoughts I had on it. I'm trying to remember. Check my notes real quick. What the hell's going on? Oh, someone's popping off an excerpt. Let me see.
Mochi takes it 7-3.
Go. Not too much I can think of now. I guess I just wanted to illustrate that. You know, I pan it. This is almost the exact same animation. I do change it a little bit. You know, as I step through it, it's kind of going left. You know, it's panning like horizontally. And I talked about it before, but we also do it on the initial one. And again, some of this might seem obvious, but so this pops open. Maybe I don't on this one. Okay, I do. So it first just, you know, blasts out, and then I pan it a little bit. Just gives it a little bit more character. It's real simple to animate, and then it just opens up. Got that going. So, we'll check out the other one. In case we have some like new viewers, what we did yesterday is this attack right here. So use that mesh right there. We ran a texture along it, and we used the mesh. Like you'll see, just doing like ring ribbons a lot. But what I found recently is that you can kind of control the shape throughout the animation. So we start thin here, we let it get thick throughout here, and then we end thin again. You can see it's like not perfectly, like the crescent shape is like offset kind of. So I love this song, it's so dope. So another thing I wanted to get to was dust. I kind of like touched on some like dust effects, but they didn't. I don't know, I was getting tired. We even streamed for 3 hours too. And there's one since already Bandai Namco has put a copyright claim on the video we streamed yesterday. Let's steal their dust effect from Naruto. So grab. Trying to find my. There it is. So here's our base one right here that we made yesterday. And we're going to take this texture that I've already made. We're going to drop it on there. Let's take a glance at that and see what we have so far. So I have this, it's not doing much, you know, right now it's a flat ring. You get some cool effects right there already. Just pan that around, like kind of want to hide this one because we're going to build up to it and it'll look cool. You know, that's basically what we've been doing. So now, because the way we have it set up, what I noticed, there's something really telling. I really want to show the screenshot, but I straight up don't want it to get flagged again, even though it's just a screenshot. But in the Naruto game, they had a mesh situation like this. So we have our cloud thing. I guess I should show that cloud texture real quick. This is what it looks like. It's real simple. We'll build it again to show you some of the choices I made and why it works. Sweet chest effect, thank you. Except for Nudie, so handy. Yeah, it can be really nice. It's a nice looking swing. Thank you. So, again, if you want, this is sort of a special case. This isn't necessarily static mesh, it's skinned, so that we can do stuff with it. You can watch the previous video, it's up on YouTube. Archive's probably still on Twitch here. Or I can just show you, you know, at another time. Already, I can think of some like cool effects where if like this is more like a dome, we should do that. Remind me, because that would look sick. You can do some cool explosion looking stuff. But let's stay on task here. And try and recreate that effect in Naruto. Let me... God, I'm like... I really just want to show this screenshot. I mean, I guess I don't care too much. Hold on. Team Naruto. Quick, close your eyes, pause the video. Let's see, let's get to it. It's right here. They use the effect a lot. We have this sort of dust effect. Looks real nice, especially when you see it in motion. It like blew my mind how easy it was. But they sort of betray themselves a little bit. And it's not necessarily a betrayal, but you can see how flattened out this is. Like the top of the ring runs here, and the bottom ring runs over here, and it's like it's offset a whole bunch. And I'll show you what that means here in a sec. So we go. Let's shrink this bottom ring down a little bit, so it's more vertical. So it's okay. We're trying to copy Naruto here. We have an okay dust effect. Let's get a lousier looking one, just so it's more like. So let's say we had like a dust effect from something else, like something like this. You know, that looks pretty cool. Oh shit, I changed it for all of them, but we have like a cloud situation, and want to like, you know, mess with that, and like that looks pretty cool. You know, we could do some stuff with that. I thought I had one that was more like boring. I guess I could just redo it. So, first of all, like, sort of their look is like flat on the bottom and, you know, wavy stuff happening up on top. So what I did last night is I just took this, cleared it out right here, just trying to get it like mostly centered. And even though this is going to be like a really weird shape, it's going to look surprisingly interesting. Doesn't have to be perfect, but... So already, you know, it's like, oh, that's kind of a neat, like, dust shape. One of the reasons this looks so nice is because we use like a circle. Like this rounded edge is going to go a long ways into giving you a really nice sort of like smoky look. So if we already like pan this around a little bit, you know, you can kind of imagine some sick anime happening right here, you know what I'm saying? I think you know what I'm saying. And so I messed with it a bit, you know, I cut into it. You know, I looked at their example. Theirs is a real simple shape here. You know, there's like a couple zigzags going on. And in the actual like footage, like I was looking on YouTube, you can see how they sort of took the back facing, like you can imagine the smoke like blowing a certain way, and the like the back end of that motion is like faded out more, so it's kind of like a situation like this. Just have the smudge tool. Sorry, it's like the best part of this song. It's so sick. This medley. Save that. You know, you have kind of a blur going on. That looks hideous, but anyway, cut into it some more, lower the opacity and stuff. Work our way towards this shape. The last thing I wanted to mention was that I had something like this, where it was like straight up and down. And like that looks pretty good. You know, we have some neat motion, but it's kind of, you know, vertical oriented, and we're going to be blowing it in one direction. Really, I would like to show the actual animation, but I don't want to deal with copyright stuff. I just want these videos, they're free, it's so stupid. Anyway, we're all familiar with it. Dust strings, yes, dust strings are dope. So anyway, we have some lean on it. And you don't have to copy this exactly, but it goes a long way into giving it that look, because you can see the spikes are coming out this way. So one option, which might be like what they did, it's like we have move these ones out of the way real quick. You know, ours is going straight up and down. Have this, pan it around. It's looking pretty cool. You can see you get, let me bring the texture down a little bit. We're just spinning it around, but it is surprisingly convincing at looking like, you know, like dust is actually rising and falling. Like it looks like, I love how easy it is. You can see that motion, because we're looking at it, you know, from this one angle, and it looks like dust is rising and falling. In the Naruto like games, they straight up just duplicate it like this. I don't know if they're exactly doing the tiling ×2, but they have it, you know, front to back like this, where we tile it twice along the X. You don't necessarily have to do that, but it creates just like a nice look like that. And so, you know, I had that last night, and it looked like they had offset it like there. It was kind of like this. So we can see what that gives us. Go back to our texture. And so like that gives you like sort of a more dynamic sort of situation going on. But I think I was a little bit mistaken. So that's what I was like convinced about. And I still think it might be. Like when I see this screenshot, I can see how shallow that is. Let's see, yeah, this is alright. Sweet, this looks very cool, thanks. But what I ended up doing, so first, I just sort of got closer to the shape. I took this, Control-T to transform, Control-click the center one, more free transform, and I just leaned it back. So we're going to be running this direction. So we have that going on. You'll have to forgive this mesh. You can see like the back part of it is like rendering on top. I don't know what I did. I could try and fix it real quick. Has to do with the bounds here. Doesn't seem to have fixed it. Usually that helps, but let me try just real quick to kind of a pain. It wasn't this bad when I did it before, I don't know why. Sorry for the little delay here. Nah, looks like I'm still doing it. Not a huge deal. Part of it has to do with this situation. I don't know, it's not fixing it. Oh well. Just right here so you can't tell. So anyway, now it's like leaning back, you have more of that shape. the ground look a little bit cooler. Offset it a little bit. Run it this way. So that's kind of cool. You know, maybe you want that sort of like, it kind of flares out when it's, you know, this top part is flaring out like that. You can see like this top ring is way offset. So that can be a neat look. But what I was thinking is like, so, you know, I want to control the motion, or one of the benefits rather of doing it mesh based is like controlling it. So it's like, already that looks pretty neat. You know, I liked this a little bit better, even though in the Naruto example it didn't. They might be animating it along that one too, like this might slide out a little bit or something. But I thought this looked pretty good. Actually, gonna go back to my one that I know looks really good. So I was thinking, you know, that looks good, but it's not like a super dynamic shape. So what I did is I took this top one, pulled it up some more. It's like I want like the rear of it to be up higher. So let's just make that happen. So we can tilt it like this, blow it up a little bit. Check our shape. So now you can see it's like the top part is like sunk way down, or like the front part is. It's like sunk down a bunch. So now we'll have this like big like flaring motion as it like rotates around. I also just stretched it out this way. So I like that shape a little bit better. Again, like these non-perfect circular shapes are more dynamic looking. So we go like that, and then like, you know, the dust like really comes up behind like that. And it looks really cool. It's so sick. It's so easy. Like, it's just awesome. Slide that over, and I'm going to grab the ones that I had already done. They're kind of shaped out a little bit better. And I offset them a little bit. The Naruto example, we'll get to it. I haven't done it yet. But they increase the size as it fades out. So like, they increase this scale. Like it's like blowing outward, you know? Doing one of these. They don't do it along the Z, but or the up and down, because it's Y or whatever. Do it just along these two. I thought there was a way to do it. I think there's a way to grab the two, I don't know how. But then they actually like shrink it down this way. So it's like the dust is kind of settling. It's like spreading out and then settling down. But we'll do it. We'll do an animation for it. But if we grab these already and spin it around, we have like one offset to the other. We give a little bit more depth to it. You can spin these around. Let's see, get a better angle here. Blow the dust some. Have a look like that. It looks so sweet. It's so simple. And again, forgive me, there's something weird about this mesh. I need to fix it. Some of these are drawing on top of each other and they shouldn't be. So yeah, something like that. Just love how simple that is. So let's try and push that even farther. I believe it's this one. I really like. Duplicate that. Come over here. I really need to do this in any scene or something. This is all making it lag super bad. Delete this one. No big deal. Put these up out of the way. So we'll have to do a bit of setup here so we can get animator controller on it and stuff. Okay, cool. So making sure we got it. Mix some water here. I did lean it back a little bit. You can see I push this back because I want that to be the motion. You know, you're standing, you know, the character would be facing you here. But we'll get that going actually in the game here in a minute. So we need a new controller. Let's do duplicate that one because it has some stuff already set up in it that we don't have to redo. Dust, wave, control. Sure, I don't have two of those. Just the corner. Create a new animation. And I don't duplicate an animation because it's really explicit to each one. This one, and open up that dust wave control, drop the dust wave animation in it. Do you want the hit pause to happen? Pause speed. Pause speed? Oh, that updates automatically. Never mind. I'm like, why is that there? In there. Ground this. Put that controller on it. Animation, do that property. And again, like using the interface that we're using, you have to update in play mode. I guess I didn't even mention that explicitly, which kind of I should have yesterday. That stuff has to update. Here's like the first dust thing I did last night. Oh, looks like I took it off. But you can when it first started, you can see some like smoke laying there still. So we want to. I mean, there's probably a few things we can do with this. Do this down the middle so we can look badass. Again, I always start with the offset. It's one of the most, it's what you use the most with these effects. Cool. Hey, thanks for y'all. You can all say hi in the chat if you like to, if you have any questions or if you're just listening. I'm not trying to brag. Some people seem to like just hearing me talk. They'll keep me out of the background, which is kind of flattering. I've heard, but so you don't have to say hi. So anyway, we got this offset on our animation. We're in the animation window here. We're gonna start where it is. So it already set it for us at 38. I didn't quite want it there. We should just start it at 0. It's really silly to start there. Going the right way already? Looks like it is. So let's just hit play there. So it's going, oh yeah, it's going 0 to 38, of course, it's spinning like crazy. So we just want it to go 0 to 1, let's just try that. So even that, it's like, and you can make it dynamic, right? Which is like really exciting. Which means like, because I'll probably do it, I have this charge effect. So it's like, you can charge all your attacks in this game, pretty much every attack in the game. It's already looking dope. It's not perfect, I'm starting to see some flaws. I was like in love with it last night. I was like, this is perfect. But we'll get around to fixing those. But you know, you can charge every attack in your game, and I have this sort of like dust effect coming out like that. But right now my particle system's really slow. You can see it. You might be able to notice, but it lags it a little bit. It's very slight, but it does dip the frame rate a bit. Charge our attacks, but it would be nice to have something like this. And it would be nice if it, you know, the longer you charged it, especially with certain attacks, it would, you know, get more dramatic. so dope. Probably want it a little bit faster than that though, so going here. Just gonna drag it in because we want it to go 0 to 1 because it that's how the tiling is based on, you know, it's a percentage. So if you go 2, it's just around twice. You know, 1 is around once. So what we need to do is for that to just happen sooner. A little fast. Let's go between. I think I like that. And I guess I have to think it's like, are we going to have one that's like, this guy's like powering up for like a long time, it's just sort of hanging out there? Or is it going to like fly outward? You know, what else is going to happen? Is it just like this one-shot thing? That's kind of what I had in mind. I'm going to duplicate what they had done in Naruto, at least for now. Because it's a neat effect. So the next thing they did, well, I guess not the next thing, but another thing that they did on theirs was that it grew outward. Let me think for a sec. Let's just do the intensity first. So we'll just fade it out. Curves, right click that keyframe, put a key, 0, bam. So we got like a situation like that, you know what I'm saying? Looks like it's hitting 0. Clearly it is, but wish we could just have a little bit of a delay first. So maybe we want this key. Maybe we want it to last like 2 loops or something. So we'll put it at like 16, 1.6. Oh, the spinning stopped. Think for a sec. I don't think I like really any of that. And we probably would want some randomness if we can. I haven't done too much yet. I don't really have any experience with adding randomness. Because like we talked about yesterday is that like these keyframes are explicit. So any like randomness we'll have to do with inside of our interface. But let's do that thing that the Naruto game did. So they took their scale, and we want it to be this scale. And the scale. It would be nice to just have like a size. Because animating scale is a huge pain in the butt, because you have to do every single one of these. And if you want to do it at a different curve, I like it, but it's goofy. You know. You have to do all at once, so it's like, you know, we do this. It's not even changing very much, but show you what I mean. Look at all of them. Come on, dude. Edit keys, yes. So we want all of them to be like 2, 5. That's looking pretty hype already. Like 4. starts a little big, so we might want to like bring down. And it kind of depends. Like sometimes like dust can look really cool if you let it keep going up like that. But like in the Naruto example, theirs actually shrinks back down. And what I mean is like, what? You're supposed to pause when I do that. Is like the scale of this. Gosh darn it. The right one. Sorry, I'm trying to get a hold of the shader here. Really scale it down that way, but since we're on repeat, we can't do that. We have to scale it down somehow. And luckily, because of the way we have it set up, we can shrink it like this. It's not working. Oh, because it's the interface. Alright, hold on. Alright, let's try and do that. I like how it grows right now, though. It's kind of neat. Let's try and do that. So, I believe... looks like it's the same one, so maybe... we take the X, go lower. So you can see how that'd be neat too. Again, we're a little bit lucky because of all this different parenting right here. And we're actually missing a parent here. But another one of the benefits of having these different parenting things is that we can scale it from a pivot. So you can see it's scaling down into the ground. But normally when you scale something, it would scale from both sides. It scales from the center. But because we can offset this and then scale it from that, it'll scale down. Like it's the difference between, like if we do a transform here, we grab this, we're scaling it from the top, we're doing this. But normally, like the default in Unity, it looks like this. It would be scaling like this, and that's not the effect we would want. You can see there's maybe a little bit of undesirable stuff with that. Oh, excuse me, just gonna keep playing. And it's that this angle becomes steeper, although you may want it. And now that I think about it, I wonder if that's why it looks so steep in this Naruto example. Well, this looks like it's kind of early on in the animation, but... it's kind of, I guess it's worth showing here, like what it's actually doing. You can see how steep it's getting, and that's not like super desirable. So there's different things we'll have to do. You know, ideally we would shrink it with the UVs, but again, I only mentioned this yesterday, but one of the problems is that in order to have it spin around like we have it, we have to have the texture on repeat mode. That's the only way we can get it to rotate around the UVs this way. The way we want, at least. But then that means on the y-axis when we do repeats, the way to get it to hold on, sorry. It's just some of it's like repeat from yesterday. So we have this like this slash effect here. Starts out fat, then it shrinks. But the size of the mesh is not changing. The mesh is staying the same. but we're using the UVs to crunch it up in here, and you do that by increasing the Y tiling. But if you have it on repeat mode, it just would create a bunch of those. They would get smaller, but you'd have a ton in here, and that's not the look you want. So to get that, you put it on clamp, and there's a shortcoming in Unity where you can't have one axis clamped and one on repeat by default. I think you can set it up in the shader though, so we need to do that. So in the meantime, to get over that, that's why we're just animating the scale. But we're noticing like a little bit of a problem with the look that we might want, because I don't like how that angle gets so steep. And you can kind of like change it. Like we could offset it by just like maybe the look isn't that important to have this initial angle anyway, so we could just make it a little bit shallower. Apply that. Oops, we're way down here now. Alright. And that's even if we want that shrinking effect, because I kind of like how it grows up. It's kind of neat. And maybe you want it to start like in more, or maybe you want it to fade in a little bit. This is one where you might necessarily want it to pop in like we have it going. So we could go take our intensity, go to curves, add a key right here, put that at 1. Sure it's exclusively 1. Have it fade in. Come on, dog. Actually, maybe do it. You can take this line. Let's see how that looks. So, that's maybe a little bit more of a look you might want. Maybe even. Meantime, I'm gonna keep this at 1. I think the default was 1.8 actually. But again, the growing one looks pretty cool. So just another thing to keep in mind. That's that's more of a principle for any sort of visual effect, like how you want it to pop in. But that like legit looks like some cool ass dust just like swirling around. It's so cool. So simple. I kind of hate the back end of this, and I hated that part last night. I just need to fix that. But that's just a texture thing. Check the chat real quick. No questions. Let me know if you have any questions. Trying to think. Oh yeah, I'd like to set it up so what they do in Naruto. Again, I'm not trying to you should copy Naruto, although it's not a bad game to copy. It's incredibly brilliant looking. But they had 2 going at once, like our other example over here, where we have 2. It creates a real good look. To do that, we might have to create a whole new one here. But maybe not. Let me think for a sec. Because the problem is, let's see. I think I did it the right way. This is another reason why to have one more extra parent, because it's gonna rotate. So what we did in our animation, we're actually rotating transforming the scale of this one, but we have this pivot right on top, and then we have this whole thing up here. So hopefully what we can do is duplicate this, and scale it at this level, at the parent level. Let's actually go smaller. Right now they're going to be lined up. We'll have to create an offset to make it look better. Hit apply and see. Fortunately, we can't play both at once. We might have to. Let's just do a quick fix here and have it transition to itself. No transition length. So it pops back into the next one. Hopefully this will just loop if I did it right. And really the effect we're going to get right now is they're going to be growing at the same time. So ideally, like in between, no, that doesn't look that bad though. Another cool thing we can do, they did this a lot. I don't know about the Turtles game, but they did it a ton in, and by they I mean Platinum. They did it in the Transformers game. They had these cool dust effects that were not dissimilar to this. But the inside one was both real close, so it wasn't so small. I like the spacing here, but I want to show that example. I had it closer, and then I'll have to do the change once we're in here. I'm gonna make it a little bit closer than that. And again, my mesh is a little effed up. I might need to I need to fix that. I don't know how yet. And what I mean is, like, it's sometimes it's drawing the one behind in front of the other one. It shouldn't be doing that. Anyway, get up here, and so they have them close together like that, and then they also do this little simple thing that looks really good. So we got this going on. We're going to grab the second, which is the inside one, or it should be. Let's see, where's that regular one? So that should be the inside one. And I'll have to do it on the interface. Yeah. Oh, I am on the interface, it's just not updating it. Alright, we're fine. Hopefully. See, it's drawing it on the wrong edge. You can understand what I'm getting at, unless I did it on the wrong one. Where did it go? Did it disappear? All sorts of stuff going on. The idea is that, you know, the outside one is lighter. You get this nice look. Let me just do it an easy way. Yeah, this is like drawing on top of it, that's why. Ugh. Normally you'd have it like, it'd be lighter on the outside, darker on the inside, and it's real simple and looks real dank. Let me see if I can find that example. Give me some dust. Here it is. You can't really see it. Don't do it quite right here. They kind of do it here. You can see like this rear one is darker. It's like the same. They just have this dark one behind it. It's possible it's at the texture level, but I know for a fact that they do the thing I was talking about in other instances. Here, they only have the one edge. Let's see. Anyway, just another option. The shortcomings that are befalling us right now are my fault. It's not from the method. Just because my mesh is skinned and it has weird rules. In that case, you may want to just create a mesh that looks like this. And have it be a static instead of skinned mesh. The skinned mesh is like how you like animate characters and stuff. because really we're not doing scaling. Isn't necessarily like skinned animating, since it's all uniform scaling. Even though that's all you're really doing anyway. Anyway, it was a mouthful that didn't really say very much. So I gotta think for a sec, because what we want is for it to animate on an offset. Just trying to think. Guess I could put it on the main character's like idle, and then looks so dope. While I think about that, I might move on to another example. So this is looking pretty rocking already. You know, in the Naruto example, they have much harder edges. Because my game is a little more naturalistic looking, I would use more soft edges. It wouldn't hurt to show that example. Edges were really soft. And what the Naruto game does is that they have these really hard edges, but then have these little spots of like softness, and looks really good. It's not a very great example. They probably outline it a little bit more. They'd have a situation like this. Doing weird things to me. I don't know why that white outline's happening. It's because this isn't a full opacity. It's confusing it a little bit. It'll look cool. No, didn't change too much. You can see, you know, you have these like sharper edges, more of an anime look. And if you did some like alpha cutoff stuff, you could, you know, start with sharp edges and then fade out to like soft edges. So let me look at my notes real quick. About done. I just want to show that dust. I think that shows a lot of what you can do already. Trying to think. You know, you could take this principle, you know, we have this ring right here, but you could have a mesh that ran really far back and like increased in size. And do like, I don't know. It's like, but something just like trailing really far behind, but it just gets bigger and bigger. Just another thought. Let me see. Let me look at my notes. So I showed that radial one. I could show off what I was doing with this. It doesn't look great, but it's that same mesh. But we make a ring, but then we sort of, you know, take a different direction with it. Like I don't know, Slayer's Mappa-Punch or Mappa-Hunch. Has an effect like this. It's like a sort of like a shockwave situation, but it's kind of like slower. It's more like dust. I'm trying to get it from my dash, but I'm not having too much luck right now. got to grab the right thing. Jump in here real quick, just to show it, to show how you can like create different motions. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So it's like when we were watching just watching SGDQ and they're running Ocarina. They have you know, there's lots of little techniques like that. Their treasure chest. There's a part where Link hit the village and it's on fire. And they just have these big silly walls of fire, but they looked good for the time. But it's the same thing. They just have like a straight mesh and there's like an animated texture on it. But then in that same scene, they have this sort of like shadow shape, like run along the ground, and I'm like, oh, that's how they did that. Like I never knew, like when I was younger. But they have like a huge mesh. You know, it runs throughout the scene, like it's a literal trail. And then they just, you know, they grow the shape along it. This effect doesn't look very good. It looks okay, like when you like dash out, you know, and it like comes out, but it's on its way. But this is not exactly a good start for it. One of the last things I wanted to do, and I haven't even tried it myself yet, is, let's see what we got for music. Hi, what are you working on? We are doing mesh-based visual effects. This game is called Citadel Deep. It's the game I'm working on. But I'm just doing a couple of tutorial videos on how to do one of the main things is just animating UVs or animating along UVs from a mesh to create different visual effects. We looked at our treasure chest. Yesterday we did a bunch of sword slashes. I wanted to try another type to show that you don't have to use curves necessarily. So let's close these. Come on, dog. Impunity. Yeah, we get some music going. What else did I have? You better not content fudging ID me idea channel. Let's see. Oops, did not mean to click on my email. Because there's some sensitive stuff in there right now. So let's look at like a couple characters come to mind that have some attacks that look like that. He had a pretty sort of famous, like angular looking attack. Let's see if anyone does it. This is Jubei from Samurai Showdown. Anyone doing it? Charlotte had a good one too. Forget what the name of it is. Where are you at? Alright, Fighter's Generation it is. They always have good stuff. Oh, I had an effect like that too. I can show you. I'm not happy with it, but that's another mesh-based sort of look you can get. You could do it with sprites too, but when it's like really long, it's nice if it can kind of interact with the scene a little bit better. And when I say sprite, it's like, you know, billboarded. You know, you have something like this. So this is like the effect. Jubei's looked a little bit better. But yeah, we could do something like that. Again, just to show that it doesn't have to be, you know, a rounded mesh. Let's check real quick. Jubei had one that looked cool. Good, he rated him highly. I like Jubei. Oh, I hope he has it on here. He usually has his animations. So there's the one, I think, right here. I thought it was more angular. It kind of is. It's just like right on the startup here. It's like right when he goes into it, like goes down. I remember it being more dramatic. Well, it's kind of a letdown. So let's make our own. Gonna delete this. Shift A, add mesh, plane. And I'm thinking just sort of how do we want it to go? Just trying to imagine in my head like an attack that would look like that. You know, some like Iaido looking stuff, especially in Aces Wild, there's a character that did some really explicit stuff where it was like zigzagging all over the place, like kind of like this. What else is kind of neat about this is that you can kind of help yourself with some timings. So let's say we have one that, you know, travels this distance, and then this distance, and then this distance. If you send it through at a constant rate, and your UVs are at a linear rate, and your UVs are lined up uniformly, then when it hits these longer parts, just like with the circular meshes, it's going to go faster. And so you can kind of create your own like motion timings with these too. That might seem like a minor thing, but when you're just animating one value, like, that means a lot. So again, like with this, you can see when it's like hitting, let me think, what attack illustrates that better? Maybe this one. I think this one right here. How it, like, I mean, part of it's just my own animation, but part of it is because of the mesh. When it hits these like longer areas, like through here, it's going to go super fast, and then it's going to hit these fatter areas and slow down a bit, and just create nice motion for us that we don't really have to animate. You know, it's going to show up as we have it like visually. So I had a better idea in here, but I'm just like, I kind of wanted to show like you know, some more dramatic like stuff happening where you can, you know, not only have, you know, something straight like that. Although in my experience, having it pretty flat, like I've tried like with these meshes to sort of give it more volume. You know, we have these like flat rings, these like crescent moon shapes. I've tried like pulling out like the inner ring of it to give it a little more depth. It just doesn't look as good. I'm not saying it can't look good, but let's cut into that a little bit. This is a bit of an experiment, so we'll just have to see. I should have unwrapped it first, but let's just unwrap. So we have this ugly thing. We're just going to flatten it all out. Constrain to image bounds. Doesn't need to be even yet. We're going to even them out. Really? These are mostly even. I kind of fudged myself here because that talk I was given about how this is going to go faster, but I got to make sure that these are uniform. Shouldn't matter too much. Anyway, grab 2 points, SX0 to scale them together. There's like a straighten option. I feel like it doesn't work how it should. Save this just in the assets folder. It'll go up. I'm gonna do angular slash mesh dot blend. Oh, it's not in the scene, it's in the project. Angular. So we have this. Bring it over here. Really, maybe just like one motion change would look good, but we'll see how we can make this work for us. Oh, great. Oh, it shouldn't matter with my shader. Never mind. Let's see here. Duplicate this. Get our own material. Angular slash matte. So hopefully, already that's pretty sick. We got a little bit of a bend in here. That's not good. It looks like it's just could be because of the offset. Kind of wanted it to go the other way. Change the tiling. So now it's, you know, we can start like this. We must be on. Duplicate this. Angular slash text. And we want it on clamp. There we go. Now, is this going to work if I go the wrong direction? Can I do -1 when it's... Might not be able to. I might have to reverse this. So, I'm going to go in here. Scale X -1. Save. Now we're going the other direction. Hi there. Thanks for joining us. What's the name? The SWE Henrik. I don't know. So let's see. But yeah, this is like looking surprisingly good. And let's go ahead. Copy Samurai Showdown a little bit. So what they did with both of those effects. I mean, not strictly, but they kind of emphasize the angularity of it in a couple ways. One way is that, let's go ahead and shrink this down a bit. They had, you know, the edges reach out longer. Midtones in here. Gives us something like that. Look, we got Samurai Showdown already. Let's do like 20%. Yeah, one of these. Something like that. Ooh, baby, that looks sick. So anyway, just like another option. And then, you know, it's like, this is looking okay, but let's like, actually get rid of this edge loop. And let me pull this somewhere else, and maybe, really, come on, dog. This is what I meant. Doesn't need to be so sharp. And again, we just messing for now, it's not too important. So if we thought the tiling would give us a better. Oh, we're going the wrong way. The thing, because what I want is it for it to be short here, and then we grow along it like that. Looks pretty hype though. I have to think for a second. Right now we're crunching up here. So what happens if I might have to reverse a couple of things here. So I'm crunched up here, but now I want to reverse those UVs yet again, so back to how we were originally. So now we're down here. And the reason is because I just want to grow it. I don't want to necessarily do the offset like this, but you know, you could do something like that. But I just want to tile it out like that. But it's getting pretty fat. So, you know, you have to work with your technique a little bit. So right here, I don't want this. I want it pretty flat. So what we're gonna do is make that happen. Work this out. Straight up flat. Blend this a bit. This doesn't matter too much, just showing an example. So it's way too white for too long. Am I right? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, something more like that. Probably harden that a little bit more. But now we have something that's like a little bit cooler. You can see, you know, how this might be cool. One of the problems is like, okay, so how do we end it? So we have this. Maybe you'd want to like stop here and then just slowly fade out at that point. Maybe just sort of hold it there. Unfortunately, you might have to do something where you animate the offset this way and then you pull back on the animation here. This is where it gets a little bit annoying. You go the offset again, push it in, push this in. The problem is that like scaling and like a linear offset don't scale well together, so you can get some weird inconsistencies when you want this to, like, you know, if you wanted to crunch this up like this. But let's try to animate it. So go slash control. Make angular slash control. Check the chat real quick. Sup? Hey there. Thanks for joining us. And create a new animation. Slash Annie. I really didn't want you in here. I just want you in the assets. Nope, not that way. Although it might have worked. Go here. Oh man, I totally grabbed the wrong one. Delete. I don't even like use folders anymore because you can just search everything. It's real nice. Slash any. Keep the speed at 1 for now. And let's see. Reassign this because we deleted it before. And this is like an artifact of my my shader, and like because of the intensity, it gets some weird things. Part of it I blame. Actually, we can. Well, this is already set up. I don't know if it's Photoshop's fault or not, but when you get like 0 opacity, sometimes it makes the pixels white but clear, and you want it all. You want black and clear. I know it sounds weird, but it matters. Even though the opacity is 0. But we'll jump in there, see if we can get some stuff. Sweet, swirl looks very cool. Thanks. Oh, this got scrolled up. Thanks again, anyway. Trying to grab some new Tims real quick. Something that lasts a little bit longer. This Konami one's pretty good. Alright. Oh, and I have the glow on there too. The glow should account for the scaling and stuff. I'm not sure why it was showing up there. Anyway. Grab our animation. Move this property. You can see we're kind of in the center here. We go into our texture. Yeah, actually, like way back here. Just gonna scale this out a little bit. A little bit nicer. It's not a great shape. This is just an example. Let's try add a property. Oh, I gotta add the interface on there. My mistake. So again, for those of you who haven't heard yet, you can animate material stuff, but you get all these weird glitches, and sometimes it just does not work. So we have an interface that has all this stuff that we would be animating anyway, and then we just tell it to update to the renderer. For some reason, the animation, the default animation stuff in Unity has trouble with that now. Should be good. I don't think I have to set up anything there. Run back up there. The glow's gonna be annoying. Turn it off for now. Property. This time we're going to be doing tiling instead of the offset. This down. Tiling that X. Go over here. And another problem with the tiling again is because this is based on a scale. And so like what you intuit might be a good motion isn't going to be exactly right. It's not going to match your curves. Like right now we have a linear curve. It's not going to be linear because it's based on scale, if you know what I'm saying. Now, we do something like this. Woo! That is slow. You can see how it like speeds up at the end, and that's, again, that's a problem with the scaling, so we might want to pick like a different effect. Why are you stopping at 1? Do I have an offset on here? I do. Don't record this. There we go. I thought I took it farther over. Guess not. Fill that out a little bit more. I think this is a really cool fact, but I'm trying to think. The scaling, because we can definitely, you know, change our curves. It's just going to be a little bit more annoying to make this look good. Right click, free smooth. I didn't announce my controls very well on this last video. It's really, we want it to be like at one, like almost instantly. See from right here, we're like not even in all the way, because that last scaling is the most extreme. Even though we're going from 1.5 down to 1, it's like it's this huge motion. Part of it's again because of the thing I mentioned where the length of it in your mesh can help you control the motion. In a better scenario, we would make this really uniform and then like scale it out and stuff, and then make sure the UVs are uniform too. And then scale it later. But, so it's not like great. You can kind of see the different motions you can get. Try and zoom in a bunch. It's gonna be hard to get. Part of it's because of the curve stuff that Unity wants you to do. It's not great. Hopefully you can see how that might be cool. I'm trying to think how we could do the offset. The problem is like we need like a lot of extra room. But at the same time, we kind of want it to scale out. We kind of want to stretch it. So we just want a scenario where we don't start out so big. So that makes sense. Still not great. There's some stuff you can do. I am just not finding it right now. It's just does not look great. It's just sort of going along it. Oh well. Hopefully it still illustrates something you can do with that. Where can I follow the progress of the game? It looks interesting. It looks interesting. Basically, just post on Twitter for now. Search the hashtag Citadel Deep. You can follow me, CAS_kicks. Just like I think it should say it there, Citadel Deep still. Wanted. I want this. I want to illustrate because I know this can look cool. You have these cool, more like angular attacks, but it's not looking so hot. I guess one thing you could do is make it loop, like the circles are a loop. That way you'd have room to just sort of scale it wherever you want it. Oh well, let me check my notes real quick, see if there's anything else I wanted to show. Oh yeah, let's do those. So, Oh, we also mentioned, so those will all go together. Good, there's more to talk about. Not like you have to stick around, but I'm gonna make this look good, even though it's not animating well. So anyway, I do think you can do some cool stuff with this. Maybe if after we work on this other stuff, we'll get a better idea of how to do it. So, mentioned before when we were doing this that maybe there's some other cool stuff we could do. There is, with a different shape. So let's close this. Actually, I should just do new, but I gotta think for a sec. Because I don't know how to unwrap it. Be a bit of messing around for a moment here. Alright, let's just get into it and see how we can. Never unwrapped a sphere before. Anyway, Shift A, Mesh, UV Sphere. Default's pretty good, we'll just keep that. It's a lot of birds, but we can handle it. So we have this. Does sphere unwrap just work? Let's see. UVs. It might be like a top-down situation. Ugh. Looks good to me! Oh my god. Let's try this. Forget what our front usually is. Mark a seam here. Anyway, Alt right click to get one edge loop. There's a command for seam, but I find it easier to just use space, type in mark seam and mark seam. Wrap. A little bit better. So I was thinking I would just how can I is this one vert? You don't have any tips on that? I need this to be like a billion birds. Okay, I know how to do that. X. Delete vertices. I'll right click that. Extrude, right click. Scale. And 0. Oh, come on, dog. Scale 0. And it's flat on top, so we're going to pull it up. I should have kept the other one there, so it's perfect. So, alright, so there's our original one again. And we grab these. Really? Alright, well, grab all these faces. Alright, change of plans. Right click, Shift S. Cursor to selected. And then we'll delete that vert again. Alt. Extrude, right click. They're there, right click makes so there's like no changes. Change it to scale to the cursor. Scale 0. Alright, we're in there. So now we have that. And let's just see what that does. So that does that. Projection. Playing games with me right now? I should have marked the seam before I extruded. Sorry, I'm new to this too, so. Duplicate set right. Making sure, remove doubles. Alright, extrude, right click, scale it in a little bit so I can mark a seam here. Scale 0 should go to our cursor still. A, U, sphere projection. Almost there. Why did these go ham? So we have a million verts in here. Should. Do I have too many faces? Sorry, this might take me a sec. Real sorry. These are all offset for some reason. It's wacky. Like dramatically. Have you seen going all the way down? Why is the whole thing looking good except for that? Come on, dog. Really? This is the game we're playing? Maybe it's based on the view? Yeah, it must be. Alright, third change of plans. Delete these. Gonna extrude these. Scale it down, but not all the way. Mark seam. Front view. Sphere projection. We should raise it up a little bit. There we go. That was weird. I mean, projection's hard. I shouldn't like think that that's like silly that that wasn't working. But and then we scale it back in. Whoops. Do I don't know. Have sphere. So we grab our verts. To constrain to image bounds, scale Y. Really, dude? Shift S. Cursor to selected. Change this to scale based on the cursor. Scale Y. I thought it would constrain it. Okay, good enough. Anyway, now we have a sphere, hopefully. This should be the top. And pop back in here. And let's drop our sphere in the scene. Have sphere, baby. Cool little explosion, dude. Ready to blow stuff up. We might do like a shield sort of look first, though. That's what I had in mind. I was watching the ZX run, GDQ, and did some neat stuff. So, let's do these two. See what this does. Not quite as exciting as I thought. So let's duplicate that. Do sphere. Messin material. I don't really know what we're gonna do with it yet. That, throw it on here. You can see, you know, it's going from top to bottom. So firstly, let's just try, we need to make a new one. Sphere, message, text. Sorry, I haven't checked the chat in a minute. Let me get this set up real quick. Like that, open that up. Actually, edit. Transform. Rotate 90 degrees clockwise. Oh, come on, dude. Image rotation. So, there we go. You can all see where this is going, right? So, watch your Mega Man ZX during the dash. We have an animation that is like this. Ooh, that's hot already. It's like boom. We'd want a different shape, and we'll get to that, but you can see the thing, you know, where the mesh itself just creates the motion for us. Do a sick dash, a cool shockwave coming out behind us. Right now it's tiling, but you may want something like that. That's like some Bomberman 64 stuff. So that was used a lot on N64 with lots of different effects, just using a sphere. And it's effective, man. Like, even in that new Naruto game, they use spheres to do some cool stuff. Check the chat. Oh, no questions so far. It's alright. Let me know if you have any. Need a sip here. So let's mess with that. Let's make it look a little bit better. Already this is kind of like, it looks like fire. I mean, obviously it's a fire color, but dust waves are in the way. You're in the way, dust wave. You look awesome though, so I'll put you over here. Make this skeleton look cool. You are kind of a failure. I hate to say that. So are you. That's alright. Both successes and failures make us better, so. You know, you may need to like scale it out a little bit. Do one of these. Have like a fireball situation. You know, like a fire dart situation. You can even rotate like this. Got some cool stuff. Rotate like this. Let's try doing clamp. Still got music? Yeah. Switching. Set these. So now when we do the tiling, oh, it's going to do that. I'm going to do it on the Y. It's going to have an effect like that. It's pretty dope. If I'm doing that, I would probably have it evenly scaled. A little bit more pointy. Actually, you might even have the opposite like this. Tile on the Y. Like, boom. God, looks dope. Already, that's like a super sick. God, like I'm ready to make a dope ass bomb with this. It's like so cool already. And that works well because we have this sort of these shallow shapes on top. But alternatively, you know, we look at that. And in this scenario, you'd want to probably tile these. You know, tile the edges here. You don't have to, but it would probably look better. It's gonna be hard because I'm using a shader like this, but you can see the seam right here. And it's not like it looks terrible, but people know. Jerks like me know, at least. So we're gonna straighten this out, but then we're gonna make some like spikier looks here. Get my tablet out. Grab one here, doing some of these. This song's so dope. Some different sizes. From the looks of it, especially because the sphere, you know, converges at a point, some thinner ones probably serve us better. We want them to reach farther across the mesh here. Come all the way up. You know, it depends on the look. If you want like a bit of a gap there, like that, you know, Mega Man ZX look with his dash animation. Or her dash, I'm not sure. Probably a dude. Something like that. So you can see like where we're getting. Again, we probably want to like really cut into it for this one because of the nature of the sphere. That's why it's nice just working in Unity, because you can just have Photoshop open like this and just make changes real quick. You can check them. Basically like working with the mesh. That's not looking great, but it's you can understand it. And what's nice, again, here's an instance where like the tiling actually looks good, because when we tile it like this, you know, the size of those spikes go down, and that's just like a nice animation. Alternatively, you could you'd want to tile the other way, and you'd like stretch it out, and you'd like stretch across that. Let me show you what I mean. Come on. So reverse that. Let's see. So, you know, starting like this. So we stretch out. It didn't look too hot. Let me. We stretched out like this, and then we still have like some of those spikes showing up on here. In this instance, you'd want to like give yourself tons of room. You want to do like one of these, and then we're starting right here. And we're tiling, you know, like starts like this, then you get this like long sort of situation like that. You know, and it may be that like this doesn't, you know, what the hell is this? Like, is this anything? It's just another thing to think about how you can like tile it along there. But really the one that we had originally looks really nice and is real simple. Revert that back. So now we're tiling the other way. We have this effect, which I really like. You'd probably be like duplicating stuff up. There's, again, I don't want to show that Naruto video because I don't want this one to get copyright claimed, but you know, they basically combine these things. You know, they have this like explosive like sphere in the middle. So this is like blown up and it's real bright. And you have this like cool like smoke coming off of it, and you're like, yo, we're making cool effects now, dude. It'd be more like that other one we had. Something like this. You actually might want it to be more extreme. Motion blur, go up and down. Just blur that out a bit. We have something like that. It's so sick, dude. And you animate that a bit. It's like boom. Oh my god. Oh, it's so dank. Probably animate the color. But then you have these like, you know, you have these bad boys like swirling around. While it's like happening, you know, you got like some sick effects like this, and it's like, oh my god. I'm like totally about that. Again, to like give this a little bit more motion, you can kind of, you know, animate along here too. Fortunately, because we're on clamp, if we do the offset, it kind of disappears. It's hard to see because these are all blending together, but cut this up. Really? Put this back that far. And you might want to use like an entire sphere if you did it. And then on top of that, you might want to do like, let's see, let's combine all our lessons. Forgetting what to call it. Drop this in here. Let's go ahead and add that same material. Alright, let's do ugh, I had a fire one. Let's see, is it a... Yeah, this one. So we have this. We're going to take our inner circle, we're going to scale it out. Line it up with this. Line it up with that. It's kind of blending weird. Thought this effect looked better. I think I had a... Where did that go? Duplicate that. Ground the bomb material. Instead, we have that. Instead of this, let's do. It's going up and down, right? Where is that one I like that I use on the treasure? Is this tiled? No. Where is it? I forget what it's called. It has some stupid name. I don't know why. Oh, this one looks pretty good. I stretched it out more. Nah. Where you at, homie? Oh my god. Alright. Find out. What about you? Spike Array. Great name. There it is. I have to reverse these again. That one looks better. This is the color cutoff here. There we go. Yeah. Now we got some dope bombs going off. Do your best to make this perfect if you're normally doing it. And you'd probably use a projector. What projectors do, it's like it creates this shape, and instead of existing in 3D, it projects it on anything below it. I don't have that set up yet. They're built into Unity, but like using it with your shape, you have to do weird things. Something like this if you need it, or whatever. Just a little bright. do the same thing where you could like have an effect like this, or blow it out like this, shrink it down as it fades away. Oh yeah, the intensity's super big. That's what I was looking for. Not exactly my field, but there are some tutorial for this style of visual effect. I'm not sure what you're asking, I'm sorry. That's what we're doing. This is a tutorial, I suppose. It's not the most professionally done one, but that's what we're doing. So yeah, so that looks pretty sick. And then if you had that smoke like coming around it, it's like, oh my god, so dope. You could also use it for like a literal shield like effect, like you would run like a single like particle along it, you know, like it's like blocking a laser or something. Just another thing you can think about. This sort of technique is used for like running water a lot. I was hoping to do that, but I am no expert on that yet. But if you wanted to create like a water effect, like waterfalls and things like that. That about covers what I had to show. If you have any questions, you know, wait for a sec. You can always contact me at cas_kicks. This will be at youtube.com/kicks42 as well, unless it gets copyright claimed as well. Then I'll post it somewhere. I'm online a lot, working on my game a lot, so if you have any questions ever at other times, let me know. That's a good song to end on. I like this song. Yeah, sorry, lots of ums. It's a little bit drowsy today. I hope this was helpful for you. See, anyone had any questions? Doesn't look like it. So yeah, that's it for now. Thanks again for watching. These effects are really cool. One of the main things you have to think about though is making the mesh work for you and subverting that mesh if it's not. So like in this one, you know, these edges are sharp even though I would prefer it if it was all like foggy. You can use glow to do that. Generally that's what you're going to be using. Or you can, you know, stack meshes up and do different things like that. Like have like an outer mesh that's like softer. Like if you had this and blew this up, had something like that, you know, kind of softens it. Or you can have something more specific where you have like view angle type shading stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching. Whew. I'm gonna get back to it, but nothing really that needs streaming, so take care. Should we check any more? No.